demon. So better look out for Destro's demon.
The incredible two-level demon rolls over anything it can't destroy.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday at the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today we're going to talk to you about the Destro Iron Grenadiers Demon. This is not just a place where he parks his Despoiler, but no spoilers ahead. We are going to do a lightning round on this thing because it is a vehicle, talking about all the functions and features and stuff that it does, and it is probably one of the most awesome vehicles made in the vintage ARAH G.I. Joe line. The Cobra's got the cool stuff, but I swore off collecting vehicles, but this is one of the few that was so cool I just had to have it. And with that, let's get to take a look at this Despoiler. The demon. Come on. Take a quick look at this demon, an overview before we get into the lightning round and all the features, and then we take a little more time with the features. This is the dual elevating multi-ordnance neutralizer. That is the name for the demon, and there's a very good reason why it's called that, because of its main party trick, shall I say. It is definitely a party trick. Even from behind, it has some cool stuff that you can use, some guns, and it's actually got a spot for a rear cannon firing seat, so that's pretty cool. It does have the black and gold and red color that we see with all the Iron Grenadier stuff, and it really does fit the form properly. But aside from it just looking really cool and being awesome, it's got a lot of features. Time for the lightning round. Features include a positionable dual spotlight. It does rotate. It does not light up. Triple mounted cannons, more like a triple cannon that is mounted and unmanned. Starting construction for rugged play. Flip up canopy that reveals seating for 3. And super realistic detail inside and out. Comes with 4 rolling wheels, more like 8, and it actually does roll. Very nice. Includes 6 triple computer, anti-aircraft, anti-personnel, missiles. And it rotates. Adjustable. The adjustability part is elevating missile launcher. Tail laser gun for fun from behind. Armor piercing laser cannon, which also dual functions as docking for Destro's Despoiler. There he is. Biggest party trick of all is it converts to a vertical attack station. All right, take 2. No, just kidding. So here we go with looking at this. So each one of these features, we'll go through them really quick. And obviously the coolest part about this, I don't know if the coolest part is the fact that it can elevate and go up like this, or if it's the fact that you've got Destro's Despoiler hanging out on there. That is so cool. The integration between these, of course they did come out the same year, so the same people worked on it, but that level of integration is just awesome. It's mind-blowing to me that they did this back in the day, and I didn't even know about it till like last year. And so with that, really awesome that they did this. So we have these guns. This whole section here rotates, and then this ratcheted up and down. Probably a little bit of dust I should have gotten out of there, but now that I mentioned it, you can't unsee it. So that's all that really does. Then this here, it goes up, and I think it's only got 2 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, several clicks, but that's as high as it goes, that I think, without breaking it. Now these anti-ship, anti-personnel missiles, they have a dog bone in the side, but I don't think you can put it anywhere on this vehicle. I don't see a dog bone mount anywhere on this vehicle. But it's kind of cool because they have it set up to where you can slide it in the top and slide it in the bottom. It's a really good idea for thinking about that. Remember, all this gold, although I haven't broken any of it myself, it is breakable. So there's always that situation. One thing about the canopy, it does have this clear plastic windshield, which is pretty cool, and you've got these stickers for it. And lucky enough for me, like I got mine pretty cheap. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was more than 50, less than 100, and it came with the Destro Despoiler. I think it even came with Destro. I think it did, which is one of those things that made it a good deal for me to pick up. But opening this up, you have 3 compartments in there. So the rear, in the rear, you're going to be controlling this, and it's pretty light. The whole vehicle is pretty light. Some people might argue that's a bad thing. There's a handle for him, so you can put a hand there, hand there. I'm not really going to mess with all that, but I did kind of slide his hands over for the driver here. So these are just some random figures I had laying around that were sort of just there, and so I could use them for whatever. But we'll get into Ferret here in a bit, the driver, and have a look at him after we're done looking at the rest of these features. Now I kind of assume that something like this over here that's automatic and this over here that moves it's not really automatic, it's being controlled by one of these three in here. That's the philosophy, I guess you could say, for all of this. And so with this thing here, I see this break off a lot or missing, or maybe this red piece of glass is missing. And I'm actually kind of thankful that mine isn't as good a shape as it is for getting a pretty good deal on it. I got a good deal because it didn't have the driver, and I already had the driver, so that's what made it easy to do. But you know, there's like some points in here, like right here, that it doesn't hold together really all that well. But at the end of the day, I don't want it to, because it would break. I don't want to snap it, breaking it. Anyway, here's that rear gun. Not much more to say or do from behind, from the back, but then we can see it kind of convert back down over here as a thing that we can do. Looking at the Destro's Despoiler itself, I'm never going to do a review just on this because I don't think it warrants it, but since it is here and it is part of why this vehicle is so cool, it was a separate purchase in 1988, so you had to buy this separately, and it did come with the Destro, said Destro figure. I think they sold enough of these that it's pretty easy to get. It's pretty common. So you have these little side flares. I mean, you had to put this thing together. This little engine piece seems like that's pretty easy to get. These little missiles are a little harder to find. I don't know why. But they're small, they're not very long. Then you get to the bottom apparatus here. So you have all of this that sort of plugs in and sometimes is missing. And then this front gun here would clip to that. So if this is missing, that's usually missing. And there's not a lot to it, but make sure you've got yours complete, and especially complete to do this. If it didn't have, I don't believe it would stick to this. Well, we could test that real quick. No, we can't. I actually had this one, and it was missing this front round piece. So the front round piece is a whole separate piece. So this is different than this. So this will still connect. This would have connected, but you still can't have this thing looking complete. And so, yeah, this was part of why I upgraded. I wanted this at least, and I got the whole kit and caboodle, so that worked for me. This was bugging me, so I took this off because I was curious. Could you just get it to at least stand on there? And yeah, it can rest on there. It would work if you took this off. I'm not saying it's something you want to do, because when you put this back on, it's going to sit in there so much better, and it'll just sit straight. So yeah, definitely you want that part. Now, I really liked this whole feature with this guy because of this one party trick here. And not that I didn't think this was a cool vehicle to start, but I swore off vehicles because I just was running out of space. And because it's adjustable, I can make it fit any space that I need, and it works. And so with that, it's adjustable. Maybe I want it a little lower, maybe I want a little higher, but this is just awesome. Just the fact this can be done, it just makes it so cool. And it almost made me want to collect the whole line of these, because the rest of the vehicles are smaller. This is the biggest one that is in with the Destro's Iron Grenadiers. And with that, then you could turn this, something I didn't really get into in lightning round, but when you turn this, he turns, and then he'll go up. So many cool things. I had this as a kid, but I didn't even know this was a thing when I was a kid. The more expensive stuff I didn't know much about. I get like one expensive one a year. You know, I did have the Rolling Thunder, but I certainly did not have this to accompany that. I got that because it was the cheapest. So one more thing, I'm going to call this a point of concern, but not really a problem. As you can see right here, there's this little black notches that will accept this this small bar, and I don't want to break that, so I have never shoved it in there, and I never will, because it, to me, I'm fine with it like this. It will go down just like an eighth of an inch lower. I don't need it to if you shove it in there, but you can risk breaking it every time you convert it or transform it, and I don't want that to happen. So with that, I just leave it like this, and it's perfectly fine for me and my needs. I have no troubles whatsoever. And yes, you can close this all the way up with the little snap. It's got a little snap tab right there. For a couple of comparisons here, I'm going to show you, this is the 1990. So if you waited 2 years, you could put it next to the Dominator, which is the chopper, the chopper. Get to the chopper, and it's pretty cool too. I might do a video on this, but these always break, but it has a converting feature. I don't want to say it's similar to this, but it's sort of like this, and it's kind of like a tank. And let's get it down here. The colors are a little brighter, so it kind of gets away. It still has a sort of the same gold, still has some black to it, but it's got a brighter red to it, and it's got a kind of a brighter teal instead of a gray, and it's just got to pop a little bit more. It's got a bunch of missiles and guns and bombs on it. You can retract these, and then you turn this into something. But I might do a video of this in the future, maybe not. This thing's extremely fragile, and maybe I gotta look a little more into it. Am I missing something when it goes to this mode? Is it supposed to have something over here? So I'll look into all of that before I do any review with it. But it has this kind of converting aspect to it, and then you have the tank. So maybe this is for the tank, and the other mode is for the helicopter. But yeah, there's a lot of breakage points on this guy. Let's get into the next comparison. Here it is next to an AWE striker. I need to keep it panned out because I have a big shot next, and yeah, I don't have all the figures in there. I still got one of the lame tins hanging on, hanging tough, but it's a good size vehicle. I would almost call it a mid-size vehicle, because I would consider large like a whale. Do you want to compare it to a whale? Well, let's compare it to a whale in the similar color scheme. Here it is a comparison to a Night Force Night Stalker, which is a whale. It's just a whale, but different colors, color scheme, and kind of fun too. You get the 90s, I think it was a 90s version of Cutter, and he's got muted colors to him, so that's kind of cool to make him look like he's maybe a Night Force one. That would work. But anyway, still have a lot of work to do this thing. It's not 100% there yet. I'm happy with where it is, but anyway, size and scale matters. As you can see, it's a little bit taller, but thinner if you put it sideways. That's a kind of a good reference. I think pretty much everybody knows about the size of a whale. The whale is the best vehicle made in G.I. Joe. Actually, if a Destro's Despoiler off there, it'd be about the same height. They'd be about the same height, but you know, way smaller. And if I could compare price points, I bet you, because the whale came out so much before this, that the prices were probably pretty close to the same. So this has been my look at the D.E.M.O.N from Destro's Iron Grenadiers, and I think that it is an amazing vehicle. It has to be an amazing vehicle for me to have literally stopped buying vehicles, sold off a bunch. I've sold off quite a few of my vehicles, the bigger ones. This one is kind of mid-size, mid-range, doesn't take up too much space. It's not too demanding of space, and it was not demanding on the wallet. You can get a good one between $50 and $100. I mean, without the figure, again, the figure itself, so like a $20 or $30 figure, so it's not really that big of a deal. The features are pretty awesome on it. It just looks cool. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're collecting, it's more about what looks cool on a shelf, and this looks cool. It's got a rank in the top 5 of, well, probably top 8 of all Cobra vehicles total. And just the fun integration of Destro's Despoiler and all of that makes it a huge win. But no, let me know what you guys think about this. Did you already know about this? Did you know it existed? Is this something that you had? Is this something that you have now? Is this something that you are currently working on putting together? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe to D.E.M.O.N, hang out.